everyone, today I'll be reviewing this new animated movie dropped on Netflix. It's called Green Snake, and this movie is a sequel to the White Snake, came out in 2019. So this movie starts with these two sisters when they get thrown into this ram. So this movie starts with looks like Green Snake. She was thrown into this place where it's kind of a in between place. Is neither is a hell, neither is heaven. It's like people who has unfinished business. All those people, they are stuck there in the ram, and the ram is it is kind of like a hell. Like you get all this that place looks like a hell, all the things happening there. So in this movie you see she also met this boy there, who kind of out of nowhere he actually helps her in this movie. So I actually really enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought this movie was definitely very interesting, and the idea brings to us about the ram, like all these people stuck there, what is happening to them, and also like you have to be strong to survive there. And the ram itself, it was very interesting idea here. Also, the animation for this movie looks absolutely amazing. So I had really good time watching this movie. The only problem I had with this movie is storytelling wasn't like great, I would say, but it wasn't bad either, because simply because the story you are watching, it is still very interesting. The thing about this movie is, although this movie is like 2 hours something long, but when you watch it, because the middle part for this movie is the story kind of goes like around and you are like, whoa, what is happening? Especially about one character. I will get to that character in a second because it's huge spoilers. I don't want to be going to that right away. Because of that, the middle part felt very dragged. Same thing was happening over and over. So I felt like this movie felt very long. Although the story isn't very complicated. For some reason, this movie, I felt like I was watching a very long movie, but it's only actually 2 hours something, so it's not that long. That means I really like this character. What is her name? The fox. She's, I guess, the way her character won this movie, every time she's on screen, she steals the scene from everyone. Because she's so charming, so manipulative, you don't know she's gonna do next. So I really like her a lot. I also liked some other side character. This movie does have a lot of side character. They come in, they do stuff, then they go on. Because that's how the story is. So I thought, yeah, this movie was really very interesting. I had good time watching it still. So I'll be going to the spoiler now. So when this boy, he shows up in this movie and he kind of saves her from all the trouble she was getting into, and somehow she also felt this connection with him, and she tried to save him a couple of times in this movie. All those scenes, I was like, oh, is she falling in love with him? Because the whole, throughout the movie Green Snake, she was saying like, oh, my sister, she fell in love with this loser, I was going to say, this weak guy, and he's weak and he couldn't protect her. Then I was thinking, is it story going that she's also falling in love with this weak guy? Bitker is his name. Of course, later we find out he isn't actually Bitker. He is actually her sister. So here's the thing about this movie. This movie tells you he's her sister in one scene. Next scene, he's not her sister. Then again, back to where he's her sister. And the story kind of goes like over and over, roundy round. And at this point, I was like, oh my God, tell me, is he or he not her sister in this movie? Of course, later in the movie, you learn she is actually Blanca in this movie. Like she's the reason she doesn't remember anything, because her memory was wiped in this movie. Somehow she got there and she was trying to reconnect with her sister, which was, again, very touching story, very good. However, it was getting little weird, going around about that. Still, I thought the way this movie was done, I had really good time. I wish that some of the scene wasn't so dragged, although this movie has a lot of action. Like 2 minute talking, then action. 2 minute talking, then action. Lot of action. Like when you see this movie, I guess in big screen, it's very entertaining. Because this is not Netflix made movie. I guess this movie did release in a theater. So if you watched this movie in theater, it is like a lot of action. All the action scene looks very good. All the creature design in this movie also I thought cool. the sister bonding was too cool. Although I felt like you don't get, because this movie, the way it ended, felt like we will be getting a sequel. You're not sure about the Green Snake character development, because I feel like even though this movie sequel to White Snake, still this movie felt like it is centered around her character. You don't really get a lot of about Green Snake, although this movie is supposed to be about her, but she actually doesn't find anybody to love, I guess. At some point I was like, oh my god, is she gonna fall in love with her sister? Because she had a really good connection with the Bitker, I guess. Then again, you know why she had a good connection with it. Yeah, it was very interesting. Then she also meet this boy who seems like he really likes her, but then of course middle of the way he left her to die. Again, I thought still this movie's best character is the fox. She's so charming and manipulative. Really liked her every time she was on screen. Also, her character has some layer, you know, more about her in this movie. Overall, I thought this movie was very entertaining watch. Story, I wish it was a little bit tidier, but it's very interesting. It's definitely worth checking. Anyway, that's my thought on this movie. Let me know in the comment what do you think about this movie, and if you enjoyed my review, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to check out my other review on Netflix movie, and please take care.